everything you need to know about products and services that can improve your life. This is Experts on Call on CL 650.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm Zach Spencer, Experts on Call, and we're talking about StrataLife, all things Strata. Joining me in studio, Drew Grout, Director of Strata Services from Key Pacific Property Management. Key Pacific Property Management's been serving Metro Vancouver since 1998. Gordon Lee from CMW Insurance. How long has CMW been around, Gordon?
We've been around for about 25 years.
All right, and Alex Limongelli from, I just like saying that because my wife's Italian. Yeah. She's a Felicella, so I can get away with it. Public sector manager at Waste Management, which is a huge company. Those are the big green trucks.
That's
you see, right.
That's right. Yeah.
And they run on natural gas, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
So
we'll
you
talk.
figure an Italian and waste management. I mean, that's a
lot of pasta.
That's a lot of pasta.
All right, we'll get to that in a moment. We're gonna in the last segment we talked about issues in stratas and insurance got tied in there. So we're going to touch a bit more on insurance in this segment. So to you, Gordon, I say to you, a Strata Council member sits on a strata as well as some subcommittees. Are they protected under the Strata's insurance policy? I guess it's a liability question.
Yeah, I think they're asking about the directors and officers insurance, which Strata Insurance generally have. In our Strata at CMWs, we protect, of course, the Strata Council and any subcommittees. So all the people that are involved. Mm-hmm. And generally, it's $1 million or $2 million limit of liability. That D&O insurance is really designed for any decisions that you make, and that may or may not, that may cause a financial loss to a third party. So usually when we see claims coming out, it'll be a unit owner that's upset with a decision they made. So it could be like a, envelope restoration. Council decided not to go ahead and order an inspection done, and 5 years later they find out it was a leaky condo, and a unit owner sues and says, you know what, we could have got that covered under the new home warranty, or might have cost a little bit less to do the repairs 5 years ago compared to now all the damages that,
Is the leaky condo thing behind us now for the most part? Most of the buildings had an envelope redone?
I think for the most part, but not totally. I mean,
Yeah.
you still see some buildings that are surrounded in scaffolding. They're dealing with it now.
Yeah.
They may not have experienced the problems 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are. Codes have changed now, so they're taking that opportunity to upgrade.
Back to the whole insurance question, the envelope of the building is insured. Why wasn't that insured? Because people had to pay extra fees to get the thing done. So that's an interesting question.
Well, I think I've seen stratas where basically, they find out after the warranty's over, and they find out there's a little bit of leaky condo, and they start doing different things, and there's a lot of costs involved. So I've seen ones that's stratas deferred it for like 9 years.
Right.
Because then every year they go back and they call us SGM and says, let's vote to like come up with $9 million of repairs, and they go, no, that's not going to happen, and then everyone votes nope. And then a year later, I guess it goes to 12 million. They go, that ain't gonna happen. So at some point, it gets fixed, I guess.
Yeah.
A court order or something like that will force it through.
At one point, in the height of the leaky condo situations, insurers were saying, what you're experiencing isn't a sudden and accidental occurrence.
Right.
So we don't handle seepage.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So we're not going to protect you against that.
Because I only just thought of this now because you mentioned anything on the outside is sort of covered
It's
by.
still kind of not covered, but the D&O part of it would be the financial loss resulting. So unit owner says, we did this. Now it's costing me $30,000 more. I'm going to file suit against you.
What's the DNO? What is that?
It's a directors and officers liability insurance. And in the case of a Strata Corporation, it's a non-profit.
Right.
So it's not much different if for, I guess, to look at it as a, publicly traded companies. These directors will make decisions for the companies to do different things, release newses, not release certain news, and when they don't release it, the stock goes down, and they go, well, you should have released it sooner.
Because this all comes around selling property, right?
That's
like
right.
A lot of times they want to keep that back from
That's
a
right.
potential
But on the
buyer.
strata side, it's usually about the resale value. Most of the time,
Right.
they're going to be upset. The resale values decrease because this corporation, the council, decided to do something or not do something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Could be doing something, I guess, ordering a report, which they don't need to, and say that this report's not even, you picked the wrong company.
Right.
The report looks horrible.
Yeah, and it costs us X number of dollars.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, it says, I know our Strata's insurance has deductibles. Under what circumstances would I be responsible for some or all of these deductibles? How can I protect myself? That goes to the first segment we talked about, you know, where whose coverage is covering what. So if the Strata has deductibles, where is the individual in this?
I think the Strata deductible, Drew could answer this question. I'm just going to answer if you are assessed by the Strata Corporation based on the bylaws that you are responsible for these deductibles, then the only way to get those deductibles coverage is through your own personal insurance, which is really important because, as we know, there are some big deductibles out there for Strata. You know, lowest usually is like $1,000, but very common for water damage. It's going to be 5, 10, 15, or 20 or higher deductibles. And so, you know, someone like Drew and the Strata Council would determine if this water damage occur, who's responsible and who's going to pay this deductible. Yeah. Correct, Drew?
Yeah. Somebody turns on their dishwasher and goes to a movie and come back and the house is flooded. And a claim arises from that. $5,000 deductible. The Strata Corporation is required to pay that. But the Strata Corporation can then look at who's responsible for the incident that gave rise to the claim and charge that $5,000 back to the owner.
The owner would say it's Frigidaire.
Well,
it's Maytag.
I've recently been involved with something like that where they did that. They went to see if the appliance was at
faulty,
fault.
Right.
In the end, doesn't matter. The owner is going to be held responsible for that occurrence. He turned on the dishwasher. Now, if they're properly protected with their home insurance will step to the plate and pay the Strata Corporation back that $5,000.
Okay.
If they don't, then the option for the Strata Corporation is take them a small claims court to recover that, and the courts has kind of supported that type of activity.
And the Stratas usually get their money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's your advice? Okay, because we're kind of on this subject here. What are the do-not-dos in a Strata? Don't run your dishwasher while you're not in the unit. Don't run your washer-dryer while you're not in the unit.
Yeah.
Don't run the bath and leave, you know? Like, are these it's pretty common sense stuff.
It's common sense stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to a movie, don't turn on your dishwasher or any of your water appliances because those hoses could pop off at any time.
Right.
You know, it's like Power Smart. Turn off your appliances the same.
So run the dishwasher while you're there. Run your washer dryer while you're there. Yeah. Is it mostly water is the biggest problem?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that insurance claims, 85% of them are water claims in Strata.
Right.
Frequency water claim is the biggest problem. Like, don't hang your clothes hanger on a sprinkler head. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
People do it, and you know,
doesn't take much.
Yeah.
A recent incident, you know, resulted in a claim of approximately $2.5 million from a single
sprinkler head.
Yep.
That set off a whole chain of events, right?
On a high rise floor. And
who was on the hook for that? Was it the owner or was it the
Strata Insurance stepped to the plate?
Strata Insurance.
The limit of the homeowner's responsibility would be the deductible. In this case, it was $2,500.
Wow.
That's the limit of their exposure.
All right, now we're on to the next one. We're doing some major restoration work on the rain screen of the building. This is kind of talking about the leaky condo thing. Do we need to arrange separate insurance for this? Or is it covered under our current policy, or is it covered by the contractor? I guess that's the next part of the question.
Yeah, it's a common thing that you know, when this happens, most clients would tell us, actually, I think the contractor, it's all good, the contractors got covered, but it's not really adequate. I think most stratas, if they don't have a separate insurance for this restoration work, and a problem arises, they're going to be on the hook for it. It's because on a standard strata policy, which is a property policy, it excludes any coverage for something that's being worked on. So that makes sense. Like if you're doing work on a roof and you mess up because you're not a good roofer, well, they're not going to give you a new roof, or else everybody would do that. Say, hey, insurance, well, I could pay for my roof. So they exclude that. So the whole issue is on the whole envelope while it's being worked on. If there's any damages resulting that something's being worked on, it's not going to be covered. And then
so this is a question I have back to you. Is it incumbent on the manager of the building to kind of know this, or should the strata know this, or can you stick handle them through that?
Well, we bring to them our experience, and our experience would say, let's make sure that there's proper coverages for the people involved in doing the repair. So in the case of a large restoration, it's making sure that the restorer is properly protected against damage they may cause, or damage that is caused as a result of what they're doing. Apart from that, you know,
so the advice to the answer to the question is yes. Make sure you have the proper coverage. You're doing a major rain screen.
Yes.
Make sure
So, for
everybody's-
example, like, you know, at CMW, when we do a renewal, we always ask Drew at the renewal, is there anything planned over $1 million, anything huge in value? Because we need to know, and then we would give them advice to say, if there is, hey, what are you doing? And, you know, you may need insurance for it. Because
you may need additional coverage for a
there's
period
a lot of
time.
gaps when contractors go into work. There's these gaps when there's big value projects, because the work they put into it, who's responsible for it? You know, if they're putting $5 million of repair work, when does it really transfer?
Where does
hands?
it begin and end, right?
And
well, that's the next question.
So that becomes the thing.
Quickly, we have about a minute and a half here. I have a revenue property in the strata, meaning I own a unit in the building. Do I need additional coverage if my tenants who are in that unit have tenant insurance? So should you duplicate it?
It's not a duplicate. Actually, you need insurance absolutely, because it's not much different than we talked about before. If that unit, the dishwasher, say your tenant goes sees a movie, and he says, it's not my dishwasher, I'm just going to wash my dishes, so when I come home, it's quiet, I can sleep. It leaks. Well, what Drew's probably going to do is that you find out this is a source unit, it's from the dishwasher, it's going to be the owner, Zach, yourself, that's going to get assessed this. And you can't really go ask the tenant's insurance to pay for this deductible.
Because it's part of the unit.
That's right. There's no provision in his policy or her policy to provide coverage. So you would be stuck with this deductible.
So the water damage ruins their $2,000 Persian rug. That's the tenant's insurance.
Yes.
Contents.
But the actual dishwasher and the hardwood floors are mine because I own it, right? Is that kind of how it would work?
Yeah, if there's an upgrade hardwood floor, you would be responsible for it. And your tenant, probably Zach, will say, I can't live in here with this water damage.
I need a rental.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And Zach's going to say, how about the rent?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not my problem.
That's good to know.
So the insurance would cover you for all these things.
The building has insurance. Any major contractors need to make sure they have insurance or an extra policy.
Yes.
Then the tenant has insurance, and then the owner of the unit needs to have insurance. Lots of insurance. Good you're here. Gordon Lee is the insurance guy from CMW Insurance. We have Drew Grout here from Key Pacific Property Management, and Alex is feeling left out. I know he is. So we're going to get to his portion of this, which is quite interesting, because a lot of people go, waste management, the garbage, really? This can't be. It's interesting. Wait till you hear about it when we're talking about StrataLife next on CL 650.
This is Experts on Call on CL 650.